And now finally the disciple was brought into the court to punish, to be executed. So he was pleading, "What I have done wrong? I am innocent. I am a sannyasi." He cried. "You cannot punish." Okay. That may be true, but it's the royal decree that we should find a man fat enough to fit the stake, they said, and carried him to the palace of execution. So the soldiers, they told him that it's a rule, the one who would fit in the stake would be punished to death. So we are carrying you. He remembered his wise guru's words. "This is a city of fools. You don't know what they will do next." He remembered his words and he regretted for his decision. Okay, while he was waiting for death, he prayed to his guru in his heart, asking him to hear his cry wherever he was. So he prayed his guru in his mind. He tried to connect to his guru in his mind. The guru saw everything in a vision. He had magic powers. He could see far and he could see the future as he could see the present and the past. He arrived at once to save his disciple who had got himself into such a scrape through love of food. So the guru had magical powers in his mind with him. So with his magical vision, he could see the disciple in trouble. So he appeared over there in a moment to help him. As soon as he arrived, he scolded the disciple and told something in a whisper. He whispered to him. Okay. Then he went to the king and addressed him. Then he went to the king and he asked, "O wisest of kings, who is greater, the guru or the disciple?" "Of course, the guru. No doubt about it. Why do you ask?" So the guru asked the king who was greater, guru or disciples. And the king replied, "Of course, guru was the greatest." "Then put me to stake first. Put my disciple to death after me." So he announced, told the king to put him to death first, then his disciple. When the disciple heard this, he understood and he began to clamor. He also started conversing. He also started fighting with the guru, and he said, "Me first. You brought me here first. Put me to death first, not him." The guru and the disciple now got into fight about who should go first. The king was puzzled by this behavior. He asked the guru, "Why do you want to die?" "We chose him because we needed a fat man for the stake." "Okay, why do you want to die first?" "We needed him, so we have called him." "You shouldn't ask me such questions. Put me to death first," replied the guru. "You should not ask me the question. You should put me to death first." "Why? There's some mystery here. As a wise man, you must make me understand." "There's a mystery. You should tell me everything." Will you promise? Will you promise to put me to death if I tell you? Will you promise me to put me death first when I tell you this, the truth?" asked the guru. The king gave him his solemn words. Okay, promised. The guru took him aside out of the servant's earshot and whispered to him, "Do you know why we want to die right now? The two of us? We have been all over the world, but we have never found a city like this or a king like you. That stake is the stake of the God of justice. It's new. It has never had a criminal on it. Whoever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country, and whoever goes next will be the future minister of this country. We are sick of our ascetic life. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves as king and ministers for a while. Now keep your words, my lord, and put us to death. Me first, remember." So this was the reason given by him. He told a false story to the king, that stake was the stake of God's justice. Okay, whosoever would die on that stake first would become the king in his rebirth. He would be reborn and he would be the king of that kingdom. Okay, and the one who would die next would be the minister of the kingdom in his rebirth. So this was the reason for the guru and the disciple to die, eager to die on that stake. The king was now thrown into deep thought. He didn't want to lose the kingdom to someone else in the next round of life. He needed time. So he ordered the execution postponed to the next day and talked in secret with his minister. So now the king was started thinking he didn't want his kingdom to go in someone else's hand in the next round of life. So he started thinking, he postponed the punishment execution. So he wanted to speak to his minister, an idiot, one more idiot. It's not right for us to give over the kingdom to others in the next life. Let's go on the stake ourselves and we will be reborn as king and minister again. So they decided, the king decided to go first on the execution. He would die first and his minister would die next, so as to become the king and the minister in their next life. Holy men do not tell lies, he said, and the minister agreed. Holy men, they didn't tell lies, means the gurus, they never lie. So we have to agree to him and we should go and die. So he told the executors, we will send the criminals tonight. When the first man comes to you, put him to death first, then do the same to the next man. Those are my orders. Don't make any mistakes. So the king ordered the executioners to execute those that first person and the second person, not to make any mistake in that. That night the king and the minister, they went secretly to the prison, released the guru and the disciple, disguised themselves as the two, and as arranged beforehand with royal servants, who were taken to the stake and promptly executed. So they executed themselves. They died in place of the guru and the disciple. When the bodies were taken down to be thrown to crows and vultures, the people panicked. They saw before them the dead bodies of the king and the minister. The city was in confusion. What happened? Instead of guru and the disciple, the king and the minister was there. All night they mourned and discussed the future of the kingdom. Some people suddenly thought of the guru and the disciple and caught up with them as they were preparing to leave town unnoticed. So people were questioned. They were thinking about who should be the next king. So they thought of the guru and the disciple. We people need a king and a minister, said someone to the guru. Others agreed. They begged the guru and the disciple to be their king and their minister. It didn't take many arguments to persuade the disciple, but it took longer to persuade the guru. It took longer. Guru took a long time to agree to that decision. They finally agreed to rule the kingdom of the foolish king and the silly minister, on the condition that they could change all the old laws. From then on, night would again be night and day would again be day, and you could get nothing for a do. It became like any other place. Now that place became normal when this guru and disciple, they started ruling that kingdom, becoming the king and the minister. I hope you have liked this story.